Hello all friends, today I have prepared for you the facts about everything. Appreciate my efforts, enjoy watching, and we begin. The world is full of interesting things, and there is still so much unexplored in it. Did you know that you can meet fantasy not only in movies, books, games, but also in everyday life? Some things that happen on the planet every day, truly unimaginable, and seem to be someone's crazy idea, but in fact they are true and very real. The world has something to surprise us. Toads were used as a pregnancy test. Until the 1960s in Europe, pregnancy was determined by sending a woman's urine sample to a specialized British laboratory. Urine samples were then injected into the toad. Scientists tested the toad after a couple of hours. If it laid eggs, the woman was pregnant. China has banned movie time travel. In 2011, the Chinese government banned movies or shows that show time travel. Such films, according to China's communist regime, are unacceptable and distort historical facts. Some turtles use the back passage to breathe. Cloacal breathing is how scientists describe this phenomenon. It occurs during hibernation. Turtles breathe through a soft spot, thereby sucking oxygen through water by cells in the walls of the anus. Scientists say that turtles survive better this way during the cold season. The shortest war in history lasted just over 38 minutes. On August 27, 1896, war broke out between England and Zanzibar. It began after a revolutionary coup in the Sultanate and lasted between 38 and 45 minutes. During the conflict, 570 Zanzibarians were killed and only one soldier in the British Army was wounded. Tobacco smoke enemas saved lives. In the 18th century, tobacco smoke enemas were considered a life-saving remedy, particularly for patients who had choked on water. Doctors resuscitated victims by blowing tobacco smoke into their throats and anus with an enema. This technique was thought to stimulate the lungs, thereby bringing them back to consciousness. Saturn and Jupiter are raining diamonds. NASA meteorological data from Jupiter and Saturn have shown that they contain large amounts of carbon in its crystalline form. Lightning strikes during storms turn methane into carbon. As it falls, it hardens into blocks of graphite, and after thousands of kilometers of flight, the blocks become diamonds. Once a senator of Rome became a horse. There was a Roman emperor, Caligula, and he was most famous for his madness. Historians described him as an extremely cruel and unbalanced man. For example, the mad emperor once decided in his heart to appoint his favorite horse, nicknamed Incitatus, as a senator. One woman can detect Parkinson's disease by smell. A British resident named Joy Milne is able to diagnose Parkinson's disease by smell even before the first signs of the disease appear. The woman even helped researchers develop a non-invasive test to detect the disease. Jurassic Park is technically a porn movie. Jurassic Park is the classic 1993 adventure film for the whole family. But in case you didn't know, it's not as innocent as it sounds. The sounds the dinosaurs make in the film are recordings of turtles mating. Sound designer Gary Reedstrom once joked that if people knew where the Jurassic Park sounds came from, the movie would be banned for children. Your saliva could fill 2 swimming pools. The average person produces about 2 liters of saliva a day. If you live from 80 to 85 years old, you will produce enough saliva to fill 2 whole pools. The octopus has 3 hearts. Octopuses are real aliens. They have 3 hearts, 2 of them deliver blood to the gills, and the third one supplies blood to the whole body. That's not all, these aliens have 9 brains and blue blood. Cleopatra was not Egyptian. Cleopatra is one of the most famous women in Egyptian history. But did you know that she was not of Egyptian descent? Cleopatra was Greek, and her native language was Koine, the Greek language of the Hellenistic era. Cows have best friends. A team of scientists from Britain's Northampton University conducted a study and found that cows are capable of making best friends. The animals felt much calmer around cows they had known for longer than those they had not met before the experiment. Next to their friends, their heart rate was much lower and they felt less stressed. Cows also have their own territorial accents. Cow mooing differs in sound depending on the geographic origin of a particular animal. In 2006, a study was conducted in which farmers from different regions found that their cows moo differently. Newborn babies cannot cry tears. Newborn babies cannot cry in the full sense of the word with tears. Little people cry their first tear between 1 and 3 months of age. Newborn babies only cry to complain about something or to get a parent's attention. Bees can recognize bombs. Not only can bees detect cancer before its deadly stages for humans, which has been proven, these amazing creatures can also sense and help find explosives. Our brains are the only ones in nature capable of shrinking. The human brain is the only brain in nature that shrinks in size with age. In short, humans are the only creatures that get stupider as they age. Bananas sold in stores are not exactly real. Bananas that are grown for sale have no seeds. In other words, they are practically artificial mutants created for consumption as food. If you want to see a real banana, you have to grow it from a seed. It will look very different from what we are used to seeing. The highest paid entertainer of the 19th century was an entertainer who entertained the crowd by farting. The French entertainer Le Pétomane was a meteorist, or roughly speaking, emitted gases in a musical manner. He was so popular in Paris that he earned more money than legendary artists such as Pablo Picasso and Marcel Proust. Le Pétomane was a star of the Moulin Rouge cabaret and traveled nearly the entire world entertaining audiences for some 20 years. The longest gap between twin births is 87 days. Irish resident Maria Jones Elliott was carrying twins and was only 23 weeks pregnant when she gave birth to her first daughter on June 1, 2012. Baby Amy miraculously survived, born weighing about 500 grams. The second twin, Katie, stayed in the womb and was born on August 27 of that year, 3 months later. The difference between the twins' births was a record 87 days. Stalin was using Photoshop even before it became mainstream. Stalin loved pictures. So much so that he even began to process them when Photoshop wasn't even a thing. The Soviet leader often removed deceased people from his photos or those who were later expelled from the Communist Party. High heels were originally created for men in the 10th century. Persian horsemen wore heels for the first time in history. According to Elizabeth Zemmelhack of the Bata Shoe Museum, when the riders lifted themselves on the stirrups of the saddle, the heel helped them keep their balance during archery. If you eat the liver of a polar bear, it will result in death. If a person eats 30 to 90 grams of polar bear liver, there is a high risk of fatal poisoning. This polar bear organ contains high doses of retinol, a concentration that is devastating to humans. Our bodies will receive a lethal amount of vitamin A. One flight attendant survived a fall from 10,000 meters. Vesna Vulović, a Serbian, is a true superheroine. She holds the world altitude record for survivors of a freefall without a parachute. Flight attendant Vulović was the only survivor of the 1972 JAT Airways crash. She fell from a height of nearly 10,000 meters and miraculously survived. There is a species of fish that lives on land. The lungfish is an ancient group of fish that can live outside of water for an almost unlimited period. The complex breathing mechanism of two bladders opening on the ventral side of the esophagus allows these fish to survive in oxygen-depleted bodies of water, and even in the driest times of the year. That's all. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Bye.